Honorable Karua. Thank you very much for being around. And my question is really a commentary, and is on the response, on the kind of response, on the way you have been responding to our questions. You have almost based all your arguments, or you are always falling back on the Constitution. Some of the people I have argued with, maybe there are one or two here, is it's not the weakness of the Constitution necessarily that have caused the problems that have been there in Kenya. It's not the absence of law.
Yes, it is not the absence of the law, but it's the deviousness of the human mind, of the criminals in us, moving ahead of the law and taking advantage of weak institutions and a weak legal framework. If you want to know that the Constitution has something to do with it, look at the recent interviews of the Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice. Would that have happened under the old order?
Here we are rewarding the people. You just said that the diaspora, when in your initial discussion, you say the diaspora is one of the major foreign exchange earners. Why are we allowing MPs to import cars freely when they are busy eating our money? The diaspora is, what are the incentives for the diaspora?
These people who are sitting here today, we have formed a New England Kenyan Association, which is going to cater for all Kenyans, Muslim, Buddhist. They will be sitting together, and next time that you pay a visit, you will be proud to have all the Kenyans of all races together. You are here today to seek our support. Kenyans are in dilemma. As we are seated here, we want somebody who can take political responsibility. Things has been promised. What does our government do? We keep on knocking the door. Who answers? Nobody answers. Are you telling us in your government, you take that political responsibility, you fire those who cannot perform, even if they are ministers?
Yes, that is part of accountability. Even if as a minister you didn't actually steal, but a mega scandal occurred under your watch and you are unable to discover on time and to make interventions, you don't just say it wasn't me. And I think those who have monitored Parliament, I have once and again said people must take political responsibility as the overall in charge of that department.
Come to Kiambu, ask me if there's any name with the O, with a business in Kiambu. Nyeri, Murang'a. Come to Kisumu. I can name 100 names with Kamau or Maina.
There is a law in Kiamutogo market in Kirinyaga, and he has settled there for a long time and married there and speaks the language. And I know there are people with all names in many places in Kenya. I know that I read somewhere in Murang'a, there was one old who was living there and who had even been at one time elected a councillor.
How do you plan to fund for healthcare for all, and especially for people with disabilities in Kenya?
I believe in full access to health throughout an individual's life cycle. Cuba, a relatively poor country, has achieved this. It is the one with the best access to health services in the world, and their life expectancy is even higher than that of the US.
Will you defend or reject the CUNY proposal on increasing MPs' salaries in Parliament?
The Constitution is superior to any other law, and any law that is inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void. It is for the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and a good Salaries and Remuneration Commission acting in the best interest of Kenya, I doubt that they would add a single penny to the pay packet of us as parliamentarians. And if they did, I see Kenyans challenging in the courts.
How can you justify that and say, you know what, it's something you must have known that you knew later, that you didn't know, other because your actions are thought, probably you thought he had won, but maybe he had not won. I don't know, maybe you can tell.
The other side was amply represented by almost the entire hall at KICC. But the agents of Kibaki were in short supply and were afraid to speak. I stood out and said the referee was the only competent authority to announce results. A candidate cannot announce their own results.
The land has been grabbed by so many people. Like Ethiopia, where the land is owned by foreigners. And Kenyatta did nothing about it, Moi did nothing about it. And these people continue to fly in there with their planes to enjoy the land of Kenya, where so many people don't have the land anywhere.
The land policy, the grabbed land is covered by Article 40, and in particular, Subclause 6, that interests in land obtained unlawfully are not protected. But I'm looking forward to us actually bringing up laws that legitimize such actions and provide for the method that can be used in cancelling titles, so that we do not also use power arbitrarily against the weak and those who may not have the means to challenge. All foreign-owned lands, the titles have been converted to leases of 99 years by operation of the Constitution. So anybody with a freehold, like those ones in Nanyuki and everywhere, they now are on leases.
I feel the Kenyan banks are exploiting the common man, of course everybody within the state. Yet they pay very little on the saving. What are you planning to allow when it comes to power?
The banks do exploit because we are weak in regulation. Kenya has been weak on enforcement. I would ensure there is strict monitoring and enforcement without interfering with the right to business, because those methods have been tested elsewhere, to ensure that people have access to credit.
Across the country, as a president, there are certain factors. One of them is the running mate. Who do you have in mind?
The running mate will be of the male gender.
What would your government do to improve academic performance?
Yes, I believe in education reforms, and I believe that Kenyans, we have to engage in order to arrive at the comprehensive reforms we must undertake in our education system.
How will you do to improve the internal security of our country?
We really must ensure that we have a functional criminal justice system that will restore security. Additionally, we must change our training curriculum.
How will you encourage entrepreneurship and people like us in the diaspora who want to invest and come to Kenya? What is your policy outline towards that?
I would put Kenyans first. That in the first place, the opportunities available are given to Kenyans. And we always try to others when there are no Kenyans available to do it.
What are you doing to these people? In your party, are you doing anything? There's Kabogo and I think there's Songo.
This has challenged us, and it has made us to think hard. And we developed, immediately after these two by-elections, we developed a vetting mechanism within the party.